The Factories Act 1948 covers most of the factories which are indulging in the manufacturing process in India. This is a landmark act which was first enacted in the year 1881 with lot of amendments. Now we have the 1948 Act, which is exclusively for the factories which are covered inside India. So this act is applicable throughout India, including all the states and union. The main intention why this act was enacted, or the objective of the act, is to ensure that there is an adequate safety measures. Safety in the sense the workers who are working in the factory should feel that their environment is safety for them. So this act is enacted with the notion to have a safety measures inside the factory and to promote the health of the employees who are working, or the workers who are working in the organization, and it looks into the welfare of the workers who are employed in the factories. So the main notion is to ensure the safety, to promote their health and look after the welfare of the workers employed in factories. The second objective of the act is to prevent haphazards. So something may happen, some haphazards may happen inside the organization. So haphazard growth of factories through the provisions in order to have a plan before. When you are creating a factory, there is a norm how a factory should look. It should not be overcrowded. There should be a lighting facility. There should be a ventilation facility. The environment should be noise proof because it may affect the ear of the workers who are working there. So it should be prevent the haphazard growth in the organization. The third important objective of the act is to regulate the working conditions. The working condition, as I told you, during summer it will be very hot. During winter it will be very cold. So the workers should have the working condition in a friendly way so that they can concentrate in the work. Same way they regulate the working hours. As we are knowing, there are lot of restrictions on the working hours. Then leave facilities, holiday facilities, then overtime facilities. There is any employee who is willing to work more than the working hours, he may be permitted to work. That is called as overtime. And the wages may differ from the normal working hours to the overtime wages. Then employment, that is regarding the employment of children. You know the children, who is the children? So employment of children, then women and the young person. So the main objective why the act was enacted is to look into the safety measures, promote the health and look into the welfare of the employees. Second one is to prevent the haphazard growth of the factories through the plans. That is, you have a factory plan. When you are creating a factory, you will have a plan how the factory should be. Then looking after the working conditions, that is related to the working hours, leave facilities, holidays, crush facilities. Then regarding the working environment, safety measures, all these things are being looked after. So now the objective has been segregated in order to have a proper understanding under the four heads. So first one is security. In the sense, when you talk about security, we talk about two important aspects. One is the safety measures, what is being provided in the organization. Then health, how to look after the health of the employees or the workers who are working in the organization. So we have the security system, that is security of the employees. You call it as secures. So first one is safety and the second one is health. Then the regulatory method, that is regulatory mechanism here related to the working hours of the workers. So a worker cannot be asked to work more working hours, or he cannot be given a less working hours so that his payment of wages will be less. So there is a regulatory body, and this act really helps to regulate the working hours of the workers who are working in the factories. And it ensures the annual leave with wages. Every employee should be provided with leave. That is very, very important, that every employee cannot work continuously. They are the human being and not the machinery. So this act main objective is to ensure annual leave with wages, and it provides additional protection from the hazardous process. Then it gives a protection of women, workmen, prohibition of employment of children. So women who are working in the organization should be given more protection. Same way, the employment of children should be prohibited in the factory. So these are the main 4 objectives which has been segregated on the forehead. One is secures, second one is regulates, third one is ensures, and fourth one is provides. Now, this act, as I told you, it is mainly focusing on the manufacturing process. Now, we should know what is called as a manufacturing process. So, when you are talking about manufacturing process, we are making some process in the raw material. Like for example, you are making some alterations, or you can have a ornamenting, you can make some repair works, then finishing, oil, then packaging, you can clean, you can wash. Any process which is being carried out, that becomes a manufacturing process. Or you can sometimes even demolish things. So you can create or demolish or alter or repair or finish or pack. So all these activities, any one activity also, you call it as a manufacturing process, and it includes pumping oil, water, sewage, then generating or transforming or transmitting power supply, then composing types of printing, that is printing of letterpress, lithography, photogravure or other similar process, or even book binding process. So we know about what is called as book binding process. Even that is one of the concept under the manufacturing process. So it is related to the printing press, printing of letterpress, lithography, photogravure. And it includes construction. So constructing, or you can even go for reconstructing or carry out repairing work, refitting or breaking of ships or vessels, that is ship vessels, or you can even sometimes go for cold storage of or preserving the items, cold storage, warehousing. In that also you can carry out some manufacturing process, bead making, molding, even cinematography, that is raw film making, cinematography. Then salt work, you are converting the sea water into salt, even that leads to manufacturing process. Then treating of any product through refrigeration, then printing press or printing business, then use of electric motor for the purpose of lifting or pumping water. That is when you go for pumping water, even that is called as a manufacturing process. Then process of stripping, packaging of tobacco leaves, even that is a manufacturing process. Petrol bank, that is also a manufacturing process. So all these activities are called manufacturing process, and this act is applicable when we are carrying out the particular process with or without the aid of power. So here the power means electricity. So with or without the aid of power, or is so ordinarily carried on, notwithstanding that the number of persons, the workers who are working or the persons who are on roll, that is employment, the number of persons employed therein is less than 10. Here we mean the less than 10 number of workers who are working or on roll on the particular you take a day, less than 10 if working with the aid of power. So number of persons 10, less than 10, but they are working with the aid of power, and less than 20 if they are working without the aid of power. So number of workers working with power, that is with the help of electricity, less than 10, or number of workers who are working less than 20 without the aid of power, or the persons working therein are not employed by the owner, even if the owner is not employed, but they are carrying out the activity with the permission or under an agreement made for employment. So you are given an agreement for employment, even that case, that particular activity being carried out, it comes under the factory. So it comes under the meaning factory. Then this is applicable to the whole of the India. Even the government factories are also coming under the Factories Act 1948. Next one is, though I told you all the activity what is relating to manufacturing process, but it does not include mine. So mines are not covered under Factories Act, they are covered under the Mines Act. Same way, armed forces, railway shed or a hotel or restaurant or eating place does not come under the purview of the Factories Act 1948. So these activities like mine generating the something like some ores from the miners does not come under the Factories Act and they are covered under the Mines Act. Same way, armed forces, they are not coming under factories, railway shed or hotel or restaurant or eating places does not come under or does not fall under the purview of the fact. Now we will see what are the components which are there in the Factories Act. Chapter 1 deals with preliminary, so it deals with the definition, objective, all those things. Then chapter 2 deals with the inspecting staff. Who is the inspecting staff and what are the rules and regulations or the provisions relating to inspecting staff. Chapter 3 deals with health. So all these things we will see one by one. Chapter 3 deals with health. Chapter 4 relating to safety measures. Chapter 4A is relating to the hazardous process, as I told you already. Then chapter 5 deals with the welfare measures to be provided to the workers inside the factory and outside the factory. Then chapter 6 deals with the working hours of the adults. Chapter 7 relates to the employment of young persons inside the factory. Then chapter 8 deals with the annual leave with wages. Chapter 9 deals with special provisions. So what all not covered under the Factories Act, all these chapters that will be, there are some specific special provisions which will be falling under the chapter 9. Chapter 10 deals with the penalties and procedure in case any violations of the Factories Act inside the premises or any deviations to be followed by the owner of the factory, then they are having the penalty and there are some procedures they have to go for the. The next one is supplemental. So what all the things which is given, there is some supplementary factors which will help for the components of the factory. Now we will look into the definition of factory. What is a factory? So according to section 2M of the Act, it means any premises. So any premises where any activity what is being mentioned is being carried out, where as I told you, on 10 or more workers are working or were working on any day of the preceding 12 months and in any part of which a manufacturing activity is being carried out. So manufacturing activity should have been carried with the aid of the powers and 10 or more workers are working or any day, it could be on any day of the 12 months. Second one is 20 more workers, this is without the aid of the power. Now we will see the various definitions which are covered under the Act. So already I told you what is manufacturing process, section 2 subsection A. Then we will talk about a worker. Who is a worker? A worker is a person who is employed directly or by through an agency. So here agency means including a contract worker who is working with or without the knowledge of the principal employer. So as I told you, he can be appointed by the owner or through some agency, but he should be working in the factory. Then another important point is he might be getting remuneration or he may not get the remuneration. That does not need any consideration here. So he should be employed directly or through agency. He may get a remuneration or may not get a remuneration, but still he should be indulged in any manufacturing activity. So he should be indulged in any manufacturing activity or even cleaning of the machinery or the manufacturing process unit premises, or he is somewhere in an helped in order to carry out the manufacturing process. That is, he is doing some incidental work to carry out the manufacturing process. Even that case is called as a worker. So section 2 subsection 1. Now a worker does not include an armed force person. Already I told you they are not coming under the Act. Then the main thing is when you talk about employment, there should be a relationship. So worker is a person, one who is working in the organization. So there exists a relationship between the owner and the worker as a master and a servant. So you call the owner as a master and the person, one who is working as a servant. So there needs an existence of a relationship between the worker and the owner of the organization. Then a worker should not, or he should not interfere. See, if a worker interferes in such a case, he is not termed to be a worker. So what are the things which a worker should not do inside the organization? Means he should not indulge himself in any willful interference, like misusing the appliances, convenience, or doing something which is not at all having any security measures in the organization, or something detrimental to the safety and welfare of the people or the workers who are working there. Then willfully and without reasonable cause do anything likely to endanger himself or others. He is willfully doing something which causes some danger to the workers who are working. The danger can be for himself or also to the persons who are working nearby him. Then third one is he is negligently, that is though not willfully but negligently doing something which is having a question, that is it looks into the security. So anything he is carrying out which through his negligence causes some dangers to the health and the safety of the workers. So these are the obligation which a worker should not do. If he is indulging in any of the activity, he is not to be called as a worker. Then next one is a power. Here power means electricity or the electrical energy. It can be, as I told you, it is electricity or electrical energy which can be mechanically transformed or transmitted, and it is not to be generated by human or animal agency. So anything which is not generated by human or animal agency, and it can be electrical energy or a mechanically transmitted electrical energy. So that is called as power, section 2 subsection G. Then adult. Adult is a person who has completed the age of 18. As far as Factories Act is concerned, a person, one who has completed 18 years of age is called as an adult. Then adolescent. So section 2 subsection B refers to an adolescent, a person. One who is called as an adolescent is who has not completed his 18th year birthday, or he has completed 15th year. So a person, one who has completed 15 years of age but not completed 18 years. So he is not below the age of 15. So he is above the age of 15 but he is below the age of 18. He is called as an adolescent. Then a person, one who has not completed his 15th year of age, he is called as child. So adult is one who has completed the age of 18. Adolescent is a person, one who has completed the age of 15 less than 18 years of age. Child is a person, one who has not completed the age of 15. So this is very, very important definitions which you should have in your mind. Then competent person. That competent person, section 2 subsection CA, defines a person who is recognized by the Factories Act as a chief inspector. So he is a person, one who inspects. He has got the authority to inspect, investigate. So he is a person, one who has the power, authority to investigate or inspect. He is called as a competent person. So that competent person is called as a chief inspector under the Act. So he should have some basic qualities which is specified in the Act, and he should have some experience which is also specified under the Act. And he is having the knowledge about the factory, and he has the right to conduct test, examination and inspections inside the premises. So he should have some knowledge about the factory, then he can conduct test and he can even go for inspection and examination of the premises. hazardous process. Section C, B. So hazardous process means any activity or a process which is carried out in an industry which is having, unless you have a special care. If you don't have a special care, that may cause some mishappening or some material impairment to the health, or it can even indulge in any activity which causes or a resultant of a pollution to the general environment. So hazardous process is being given under the first schedule of the Act, which specifies that some special care has to be taken. For example, effluent treatment. If any process is being carried out and any wastage is coming out of the factory, if it's directly sent out, that may spoil the environment and cause a pollution to the environment. In such a case, we have to take down some effluent activity in the organization so that that hazardous process does not cause any harm to the environment or the human being. Then calendar year. Calendar year is nothing but 12 months beginning with the January in any year. So calendar year refers to beginning of January for the particular year and ending with 31st December. So 1st January to 31st December of the particular year refers to the calendar year. An young person means who is either a child or an adolescent. So young person is a person, one who is not a child but not even an adolescent. Then here day refers to, a day means 24 hours beginning at midnight. So day refers to the beginning of the midnight. So midnight, from one day midnight, it is given to the next day midnight. That 24 hours taken as a day. Then week. Here week refers to 7 days beginning at midnight of Sunday. So Saturday night or such other night, it may be given in an approval. So here, as Sunday mostly falls as a holiday, they are taking it as Saturday. Then prime mover. Prime mover means it is like nothing but an engine or a motor or any other applicable appliances which is used for generating power, electricity. That is called as prime mover. Then transmission of machinery. Section 2, subsection 1. Transmission of machinery is nothing but you are having some shaft or wheel or a drum or a pulley. We use when we transfer the machinery from one place to another place, or when we move the machinery, we use pulley, sometimes drum or a wheel or a system of pulleys, or sometimes we even use clutches, driving belts or coupling or any other device which is serving for the purpose of transmission machinery. Then occupier. It's a very important definition. Occupier of a factory means a person who has the ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. So he is a person, one who has got the whole control over the affairs of the factory. It can be a firm, that is a partnership firm, or other association of individuals or partners or members. They are to be called as a occupier. In case if it is a company, the director of the company is to be treated as a occupier. So occupier is a person, one who has the whole control over the particular factory. So he can be a person, or it can be a firm, or in case if it is a company, the director is called as the occupier of the particular factory. Sometimes when it is controlled by the central government or the state government, sometimes by the municipality or the local authority, then the particular authority, that the central government or the state government or the local authority, may appoint a person to be the occupier of the factory. So occupier is a person who can be specified in case if it is a government company, that is a state government company, or a central government company, or a company, that is in the case if it is a factory, it is specified in the particular government. Next one